We live, Luke?
I think we are live. Welcome to our live podcast Q&A with Adam Weatherby, Tyler, and Luke. We're glad you're here. We're going to just kind of give a second to let everybody assemble here, but happy Thursday, Friday Eve.
It is. It's Thursday night in Sheridan. It's 79 degrees out, no wind, beautiful and green. You guys have me in the podcast studio.
I know. I feel like we should be on a trail right now. So
definitely going to go for a run after this.
Yeah, definitely. If you guys are joining, just drop in the chat where you're from. We'd love to see where you're tuning in from.
Yeah. No, excited about this. We haven't really done much live events, so we're super excited to be here. And we got a whole bunch of questions I think that we're going to be able to tap into. So it's going to be a fun night, hitting on a whole lot of things, and we're going to let kind of our customers choose what direction we go. And I think we have a predetermined list that everybody sent in all week, but we're also going to be monitoring live, right, Luke?
Yeah, we're going to do our best to answer some questions as they come in. So we've got the three of us, and we got DJ Dazzy Jeff over here in the corner that's going to help us out in case anything crazy happens. But yeah, we should be in pretty good shape. So
cool.
It's exciting.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And thank you to everyone who did put in some good questions, and it should be fun to do those. So
yeah, absolutely. Cool.
Okay, Tyler, why don't you kick us off with some first questions?
Well, before we do all the questions, this might spark some in the chat. Let's maybe just recap these last 5 months. We've had a bunch of new products, so that a lot of these new products kind of, lead into a bunch of the questions that we've got. So, man, since the beginning of the year, we've launched in the Model 307 line, we've launched Adventure SD.
Wood model for those wood guys.
Yep.
I know you're out there and you're listening, and we hear you and we see you and we love you.
So
that's right.
We got Adventure SD. We have Alpine MDT Carbon. So on an extension of our Alpine MDT original launch, and then Carbon Barrel. And then last week, Alpine CT, which was a big one for us. Moving on to the Vanguard line, we had the Obsidian, which is a great value in that Vanguard lineup. Mm-hmm. And then the Spike Camp, Vanguard Spike Camp, shorter barrels, heavier barrels, something we hadn't done in a long time in the Vanguard lineup. So that was pretty cool. And then on the shotguns, we launched Sorix, which is our new semi-auto. So lots of new products. We're only 5 months in, and yeah.
And we're not done. We're not done. But as we could tell from hearing back from everybody this week, we do hear the product development ideas over the years, and we hear what people are asking for and what they're wanting. Sometimes it makes business sense. Sometimes it makes just, sense for us to be able to do it and bring it to market. Sometimes it's either impossible or not a good business idea, frankly. However, there are a lot of them that seep through. And so it's got to be cool for you customers to sometimes go, man, I give them this feedback. And yes, there it is. Even in the next few years, there's stuff people have been asking about for a long time. And I always get super excited when those things come out, because then I think customers can go like, yeah, I heard those things. I got it. I had a part. That was my idea.
Yeah. I can't reveal too much, but we've literally had a meeting today, and we were talking about customer feedback on kind of setting the table for our, our product development line. So those meetings are always fun. So
it was actually, we had that meeting, and then we came in here and somebody had asked or sent in a message and said, you should do this, this, and this. We had a meeting about it today.
Yeah.
And so it reiterates that hopefully we're headed in the right direction. And we know that not every product is for every person. And so I think you have a real diverse line now, right? Where, there's, depending on who you are, what type of shooter or hunter you are, there's a lot of different things.
We got a lot of options now.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. So I'll kick us off with the first question for you, Adam.
Okay.
Out of the 6.5 RPM, 6.5 PRC, and 6.5 300, which would you choose for a lightweight hunting rifle, and why?
I feel like it's a game show. Except there's no wrong answer.
You can't do it wrong.
The key there is a lightweight rifle, Tyler. And for a lightweight rifle, depending on how large a game I would be hunting, and I'm sure a lot of loyal guys out there, what do you guess at home? But I would choose by far the Weatherby 6.5 Weatherby RPM. The whole, when we designed that cartridge here now, say 5 years ago, the idea behind it was to be able to put it in the lightest, fastest combination. And so in our, say, backcountry TI line in our Mark V family, it's a 5-pound gun, but it's Magnum performance. In the 6.5 PRC, it requires a larger bolt face and therefore a heavier action. And the 6.5 300, frankly, it's faster, but it requires a larger action. So that's when I did a sheep hunt last year. I did that. I ended up killing a ram at 480 yards. I felt confident with the environment, with that gun, how I'd practiced with it, and used the 6.5 RPM and the 124 hammer and had success with it. And so that's what I chose this last year when looking for light and speed in that combo.
Yeah, it's just fun. It's a very purpose-built cartridge for that, 6-lug Mark V action. And if you're thinking of like rifles as tools, like that was the tool that you should select for super lightweight, right?
Right.
So
exactly. Yeah. But on the screen for those watching on YouTube, that was a mule deer hunt I did a few years ago. That's actually a 6.5 300. I wanted to be able to reach out further. So that's a 6.5 300 in a backcountry TI. So still lightweight, not quite as light because of that 9-lug action instead of the 6. Lost a pound there. But yet I wanted a little bit more velocity. And so had that. So
yeah. But we're 6.5 300, where if you're thinking of what might make sense on a platform, if you're in the 307 platform, they're the same action length. So you might as well, keep that horsepower.
Yeah.
And, on Alpine CT, I think 6.5 300 is only 6.4 pounds or something right in there. So still a lightweight option.
Sure. No, that's true.
I think what you're starting to talk about with that mule deer hunt, it depends so much on your situation. I remember you and I debated between 6.5 RPM because that was going to be a lot of miles on that hunt versus 6.5 300, but we ended up going with that 6.53 because we were pretty sure we were going to be shooting cross canyon.
And it was a very far shot. Don't want to say it on the thing because there'll be some comments on it. But it was actually, I think, the furthest I'd shot at a big game animal with that 6.5 300. And so it did the job. And I'm glad I had the horsepower on that one.
Yeah. So
yeah.
But you were also hunting with Brenda, so kind of that team aspect too of who has what rifle. So she
had the RPM.
So she had RPM, which means if there was an opportunity that's closer, that made sense for her to carry that rifle.
Sure.
And then you carried just in case we got to reach out and touch.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. Yeah. Exactly.
Sweet.
What else you got, Tyler?
All right,
hit me with your best shot.
Keep moving on.
You got live ones coming in too, Luke?
DJ does. I'm not seeing them quite yet, but I'm gonna. That's why I keep moving the
Luke's
camera.
running around trying to get the live questions. Keep sending them in. Yeah, these are ones that you guys sent all week via email or social media or all the different ways that we got questions. So these were from you this week, and Luke will be pulling up some of those when we weed through these. So go ahead, Tyler.
All right, next one. Weatherby branded ammo is expensive, but also high quality. What steps do you guys take to make your ammo stand out amongst the competitors? For example, why would we go with 7 PRC be better than another brand?
No, another great question.
Yeah, this is a good one.
Yeah, you must have weeded through them or something, right, Tyler? No, I like to say, we take a lot of almost like custom loads. We put the time and attention that people would maybe expect out of a custom load in our production loads. And so I think a lot of people, the amount of ammo we crank out versus maybe some of the real large guys out there is it enables us. It's a smaller amount. And so we put a lot of time and attention to it. So number one, our components, we're going to be using premium brass. Our tolerances are going to be very tight. Our lot sizes are going to be smaller, meaning that we shut down those loaders. We're going down to the basement and we're putting it in the pressure and velocity barrels. We're spitting out PSIs and making sure that our standard deviation and velocity is very low. So your ammo is very, very consistent. Every box is hand packed. Every round is hand inspected. Every box is hand weighed. And so you're getting really a custom load. It's not expensive custom pricing. We know we're high on the production end, but we put a lot of time and attention. It's how we were founded. We were an ammo company. My grandpa started this as an ammo company. So that ballistic superiority, the accuracy, but really the consistency in it is something they can expect. So in the 7 PRC, we're loading it in some different rounds. I had a gun recently in 7 PRC in the Alpine CT that we sent out to a guy that was going to go on a hunt with us. And he was very well below sub MOA on all 3 loads. I think we're kind of out right now, so don't blast me with that because we're probably out of inventory. But on the Burger, the hammer, the Burger, the hammer, and the Scirocco, they were all shooting very, very tight groups. The hammer was under 1/2 inch that we did on a production gun, one of the earliest Alpine CTs we grabbed off. So And he's like, wow, is this what it does? I'm like, yeah, it's what it does.
Yeah.
So,
No, those are great points. I kind of my little testimony on just how small of a company we still are. When we get big orders, we've all been down there hand packing and hand inspecting. Just last month, we were down there helping package up. So it is very much an attention to detail business there. And then on 7PRC too, when, kind of the concept of bringing out these non-Weatherby calibers and loading is, our ballisticians, our ballistics team, all of those things that you just talked about. That hammer in particular, my kind of experience with it, a lighter bullet, that hammer's going faster too, just based on how we loaded it, and we still are getting some cool velocities.
Exactly. Yeah. Just side note there, I do have some questions. Sometimes you'll see either different boxes with different printed velocities or different velocities on our website. One thing we do too is actual velocity on that box with the length of barrel, and I believe it says on the box, right, what length of barrel is used in that testing. And so we put that on there because it's hard with different powders that might be available and different things over the time. Those loads may change slightly, but what we do is we make sure to print that accurate amount on the box. So trust that box that's not a random label, that is for that lot, that is the published velocity for that lot of ammo. So again, down to the kind of not just a big blanket thing, but trying to get more specific. So if somebody's shooting longer range, they can dial it in tight. So.
Yeah. Cool. Another ammo question. This is a fun one. So I'll lead with this question and then there'll be a follow-up question. So I'm curious about the possibility of a 6.5 378 Weatherby mag. Has this been discussed? 6.5 300 is pretty amazing. But are you going to try to go even faster? I'm a Weatherby nut and I have to know.
Weatherby nuts always like speed.
Oh man, that's tough. Yeah, we're pretty overboard with 6.5 300.
All the Creedmoor fans are out there going, "No, don't do it."
Did you say need more?
No, I said Creedmoor. Here's the truth on that one, Tyler. And this, I never said this publicly because people have also asked about a 7 378. And I killed an elk. I'm going to say this publicly now with a 7 378 a number of years ago. So we had development.
I can't believe he's doing this.
I know. I've not heard the story myself.
And the problem is sometimes you can get a lot of powder. You can get a really large case, and you can end up with a lot of different. Bottom line is it didn't pass through our testing. It may someday. You never know. We experiment around. People go, I wonder if they try this. We have so many things before things come to market that we've tried, and sometimes it may work. Right off the bat. Sometimes it's years of iterations to try to really figure out what that is. But we even experimented down with the 7 into that 378, and you can end up having with that much case capacity, with that much neck down, you can have hang fire issues. There are a number of issues that can kind of come up when you do neck it down too much. Now, it's sometimes fun to do. I know we'd love to be inefficient with our rounds, right? We love to burn a lot of powder. But at the same time, we have to do something that's repeatable, obviously something that's safe, something that ultimately is going to be accurate, something that's going to stabilize and all those different things. So don't have a 6.5 378 in the works. We toyed with the 7. Who knows? You never know what the future will hold. But I actually have killed an animal, probably the only one in the world. Killed a nice 6-point bull with the 7 378.
That's
so yeah.
That's a cool story. Fun story.
Yeah.
So I guess my follow-up question to that was that we got like around 80%. We got a lot of people asking about stuff that we haven't come out with, like new product development stuff. Maybe just address that as a whole, since we did get a lot of questions about
it's hard.
Products.
As a company, obviously nobody you don't want to reveal your cards, right? You don't want to blow your secret. You don't want to let your competitors know. So there are a number of reasons as a company why it's hard to kind of do that. And so I would have loved in this podcast to say, yep, in 39 months, we'll be coming out with this. Well, we got R&D. I mean, heck, that 7378 was 5+ years ago. And and it may circle back around. You just never know. And so we don't know. And if I say something live, I could be wrong. I'm really good at history because it already happened. But just talking about those things. But do know that we hear, we do hear you. We hear our customers and that feedback. And sometimes there are reasons beyond, like we often get maybe, hey, could you update the twist rates on some, the old Weatherby cartridges? it sounds easy, just put a new barrel on it. But for us, it's like, well, you might have people that go out there using some of our loaded ammo that are in lighter bullets and they don't stabilize, and those customers don't understand that. And then they call customer service and say it doesn't shoot well because their rate of twist doesn't match the bullet weight. Like, or we have SAMI, our governing agency, that has cartridge overall length published for those. And then some people are going to be seating them out more. So there are some complexities, but the one guy's like, I know, I don't care. I just want that. But it's, we got to make what works for more than just the one guy. And those are the things when we really hit kind of the win and go forward with it.
Yeah. That kind of just brings full circle to that. We are seeing your comments, because even on some of those, there's a lot where I'm like, oh, that's a good question, because that might actually happen in the next hour.
I love the like, hey, could you make a left-handed 224 Weatherby with a 1 7.5 twist where Roy Weatherby hand picked out, the wood,
the wood? Yeah.
So everybody has those desires out there. We want to make those guns, but we got to do what's realistic at the same time.
There's a lot of live questions right now, just about 7mm generally. So
hit me with your best shot.
Well,
Luke.
I'm going to try to lump multiple together here. So there's questions about thoughts on 7PRC.
Okay.
There's questions about 7mm Weatherby.
Mm-hmm.
What are our thoughts on 7 Rim Mag 280 Ackley? So there's a lot of sevens.
It's the year of
Sevens
the
like
sevens.
so in right now.
Do you remember 6.5? That was so like 5 years ago.
That was 3 years ago. Yeah.
It is the year of the sevens. 280 is popular, obviously. We have our 7mm Weatherby. We're loading, or we're chambering rifles and doing ammo actually, and 3 non-Weatherby sevens. So the 28 Nosler, the 280 Ackley, and the 7 PRC. So it is a year of the sevens. I'll give a few comments on sevens. Probably won't be fact, but it'll be things. 7 is a great caliber, obviously. Historically, we had the 7 Weatherby, which my grandpa did, many, many years ago, which has a ballistic advantage on the 7 Remington, some of the Remington mag. And there's been a lot of developments as of late, 28 Nosler being, one of the fastest ones out there in that development. A good inefficient cartridge, like some of the ones we have that just burn a lot of powder, but things go real fast. The 7mm Weatherby, sometimes it's one of those that people want us to update the twist rates a little bit, but we do run into the cartridge overall length because it was so long ago. So we battle with those things, but we got some great loads still in the 7mm Weatherby and still a pretty good following of it. What really has helped the 7 PRC to really take off is the design of the cartridge, and to allow for a lot of newer, heavier, higher BC bullets to be loaded, seated out far, and then coming in with a faster twist rate. And with that faster twist rate, being able to do that. The 7mm Weatherby, when it came out, those faster twist rates and heavier bullets weren't there. And so it is a good modern cartridge. We are chambering a bunch of things in it. It's shooting very well for us. And like I said, our ammo's shooting good. And I kind of talked about that earlier. And they each have their own purpose. If you want the fastest, 28 Nosler's super fast and it's going to beat the others. 7 PRC's kind of winning that middle the road game, still providing a lot of velocity and allowing for the bullets to be seated out further, which people are liking. And then the 280 Ackley's cool because it's got standard bolt face. We can fit it in our skinny Mark 5 6-lug action. So it's like pick your 7, pick your poison, and I think, I don't know if I just kind of talked around circles about sevens, but
no, I think one of the things I wanted to point out, we get questions a lot of times for the twist rate, and we want heavier bullets often. And one of the things that we do our best to manage is if we put a bullet or a bullet in our cartridge offering that we know it's going to fit, we know it's going to feed, we know it's going to be consistent.
Yes.
Sometimes we want to add another bullet, but we might not be able to get all 3 of those things. It's kind of like you can get quick, fast, or cheap, and you pick 2.
Yes,
but we pick 3
because it's hard. You might be selling 7mm Weatherby ammo, and it's for somebody's 40-year-old gun. Is the ammo that you're doing now going to feed? And then if not, they're going to call us, tell us our 40-year-old gun sucks. So it is a little tricky at times, but yeah, there's the sevens. Should we go back to an old question, then back to you, Luke, or what?
Sounds good.
Okay. Tyler, you gonna say something?
I was just gonna say that's just like when you're thinking about almost 80 years of gun history and stuff. There is that blend of cutting edge, but still supporting guns for that long.
And we try to support. I mean, that's what. We support a lot. We have 16 proprietary Weatherby cartridges, and we try to do our best to support each of those with a lot of diverse loads. And we've come out with a lot of new bullets this last year, which I'm pretty excited about.
Cool. So, okay, here's the one from probably an international friend. He wanted to ask, is it possible to purchase Weatherby rifles outside of the United States? If so, how do I go about ordering one?
How many international folks we got out there?
Yeah.
Good to hear you tonight. They might be sleeping.
Depends on where you are. As long as the U.S. can export to that country, the short answer is yes. So
We export to a lot of different countries.
yeah, biggest ones would be Australia, Canada, Scandinavia.
Mhm.
There's a lot of European countries as well.
Mhm.
Some South American. So
South Africa.
South Africa. So there are increasing challenges with exports with our current, I don't want to get political, but with our current administration, it's making it harder to export things. But we do a fair amount of business with that. So depending on where you are, get in touch with a local dealer and they should know who to get in touch with.
If you need to, you can email consumer services at weatherby.com and they can kind of really direct you to maybe some local folks there as well. Yeah. Not knowing what countries, it's just hard. It's a big world.
A lot
like we're not in Antarctica. There's several places we aren't.
Yeah.
So
if there was a dealer in Antarctica, we'd be there. All right. So Luke, I'll keep firing off ones here. Hey guys, huge fan of the podcast, especially the cartridge breakdowns and hearing about hunts. I live in northwestern Montana and primarily hunt elk and mule deer. I use a 300 Weatherby mag and absolutely love it. Recently, I switched over from interlocks to ELDXs to a Barnes TSX. I'm having trouble finding a load to shoot under a minute at 100 yards. Any tips on load development?
Buy a Weatherby factory load. Probably not going to give any just hand loading tips on it. The Barnes TTSX, the triple, the tipped triple shock does historically, the 180 does historically shoot pretty good in a 300 Weatherby. So that is, I know I've shot many 180 TTSXs in the 300 that shoot very well. So it is a good bullet. Seriously, give one of our factory loads a try. We do load that bullet, assuming it's the tipped one. We do also, if you're interested in on copper, maybe if this customer went to that, we are doing the hammer in that in a both the 195 and then is it a 170 or 172? I always get mixed up which one we finalized on. Whichever one it is.
If you had just asked me, I would have said it. But since you gave me options,
somebody
I don't
will comment and say, go to our website. But the 170 or 172, I can't remember. We had some in prototype that I use and some, I can't remember which one we landed on. The 195. So those are good all copper bullets, but the Barnes TTSX is historically shot good for us. So without getting into the details and troubleshooting that, I wouldn't know exactly, but I can tell that customer that historically that bullet has shot well in 300 Weatherby, like in
170
rifles.
170.
It is.
Yeah,
okay.
Confirmed.
Did a customer confirm it?
John Solberg, thank you for the tip.
Did he just live comment?
He did.
That's
On our sales team?
Yep. Thanks, John.
Man, these guys are the best.
I thought you were doing Shields training down in Colorado Springs.
Hey, John, if I get anything else wrong tonight, just let me know. Okay.
And then along with that, just if you had a load that was shooting well, just always do your rifle checklist too. Make sure action screws are tight, scope mounts are tight, all those things.
Absolutely.
So
yeah.
All right. This is a little broad. We talked a little bit about it, but what's new on the shotgun line?
A lot. I mean, if you look in the last year, we launched a side-by-side, first side-by-side we've had in a very long time. So our Ryan side-by-side would be new. One of the new things out of that is it's available in a 410 gauge in addition to the 12 and 20. And so it's the first time we've had a 410 in a while. And then most recently, we just launched a brand new Sorex Italian-built, Sheridan finished semi-auto shotgun, available in 3 and 3.5 inch chambers and 12 and 20, hand-painted. And then the final assembly done here in Sheridan, working with our good partners in Italy. It's a kind of semi-ambidextrous, if you would, where the safety is reversible as well as that bolt handle. And just a really cool looking shotgun, functions well. We tried it in how many states?
Oh, wow. I think it was almost 10.
Almost
7
to 8, 9 states that we did.
Canada as well.
Yeah, in Canada and in Alaska, we did Sea Ducks, did a lot of things to test out that shotgun. So that's the newest shotgun that we have out there that'd be worth checking out.
Yeah.
Cool. More to come. Here's more to come on shotgun. We're not done with shotgun.
We're not?
No. We got a lot to go.
Yeah, we do. We do. Yeah.
Here's a funny one. Do you love Wyoming or do you miss California?
Oh, great question.
The answer is yes. I absolutely love.
It depends
Wyoming.
on when he gets asked.
Today it's 70-something degrees and it's great. We absolutely love Wyoming. The move has been incredible for us. Our business has grown. We're in a great area, an awesome hunting area surrounded by some really good people, a state that really backs us, a government that backs us. The governor himself comes in here fairly often and chats with us and buys ammo for his 6.5 RPM he has, and all sorts of things. So it has been a great state. It's been phenomenal for Weatherby. Are there things we miss about California? We still have family and friends out there, and most of all, it's the people. And then some days during the winter, the weather. Yes, but most of all, just the people. And we got a lot of loved ones out there still. But
yeah, one of my favorite things that you always say, it's like California was that rich history and built the company,
correct.
And then Wyoming's kind of our future. And
absolutely,
with the facility we have here, the people we have here too. It just has really opened up a lot of new doors, like the Backcountry series or, the Sorks, honestly, being able to finish shotguns here. So things like that has always interested me.
Yep. Any good new ones, Luke? You fishing?
Well, John got a lot of attaboys for straightening us out.
I love it.
Yeah.
Do you want me to keep going through lists?
Yeah, you keep going,
cool.
Tyler.
All right. So what is at the top of your bucket list for hunts? And do you have any upcoming hunts that you're excited about?
Yeah, always. As far as upcoming hunts, doing an elk hunt here fairly soon with Remy Warren, who is partnering with us now with Live Wild. And so Remy and I are doing an elk hunt. I'm pretty excited about that. That's one of my next hunts coming up. Already done Africa, New Zealand this year, so I feel kind of spoiled. Kind of got a good start to the year. I did draw a really good tag for mule deer in Colorado this year.
Nice.
So found that out this past week. So cashed in some points for that. So really looking forward to that. As far as what it say, just most memorable, would it say?
This one said like a bucket list. So it's maybe something that you haven't done.
Which funny, New Zealand was bucket list, and take that one. I do have one more for 4 on my North American wild sheep. So I've just got real lucky and drawn some things and given some things, and kind of have 3 of my 4. So I need a desert bighorn sheep. And so just kind of to complete that, I'm pretty excited about that. And I know Brenda and I have it on our list someday to go do Spain and someday do the 4 ibex over there, and that, just some international stuff. And probably desert sheep in North America, but they're still just,
so many things.
Many things. So
I'm
many
excited
great
for
hunts.
Sheep Show this year because you'll be in the one more for 4, and that's a smaller list, so that'll be
I
exciting.
was last year too, and I didn't win, but
now your odds just got better, right?
There you go.
Optimism.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, let's see here. What else we got here? Oh, okay. Here's a good one. So, hey, Adam, I want to order a new 307 Alpine CT and 300 Weatherby mag. And I see on the website it's a 90-day lead time. Is it safe to say that it wouldn't be much longer than a 90-day lead time? Just want to order in time for fall.
No, good question.
Which gun was that?
Alpine CT.
Alpine CT.
Yeah. I'm going to, because Luke oversees more of the data that he's in every day. Luke, how would you comment on that right now?
Yeah, pretty good shape across the board at this moment. We are starting to see increased sales on those since we just announced it. But I would say at this moment, if you were to order one through a dealer or through us, you're safe to get that for fall. For sure.
Yeah.
I wouldn't wait too long though.
Yeah. And there's, we launched it in 13 cartridges, maybe?
Quite a few.
Yeah. 13 or 14.
Once in a while, there'll be 1 or 2 that for some reason, maybe we're out of a barrel or whatever, but I would say that's probably true for 80 to 90% plus of them. Majority of them.
We're in pretty good shape there. Alpine CT, I think we've ramped up. We're great.
Ramped up, stock production.
Okay, there's one exception. The 6.5 PRC, we're a little delayed on. Okay. Other than that, everything else in the caliber list is good.
Okay. But they already found out it didn't make it in my top 6.5 category anyways.
That's right. Okay. I don't know why you would get that.
Yeah,
okay.
There's other options.
Okay. So other than 6.5 PRC, we feel pretty confident about it.
Correct.
Absolutely.
And here's a kind of a tandem.
And we're already shipping them to dealers. In June, we will be shipping them to dealers throughout the country that already have them on order.
Yes.
So
some
this isn't
last month too.
Some have already shipped.
Yeah. So this isn't a launch it and then like 90 to 180 days start coming out with it. So we are beginning to ship it to our loyal dealers already.
And then Tandem, talking about BSF carbon barrels, backcountry as well. This is a very similar question, but just backcountry 2.0. So Mark 5 line on barrels. So just availability.
The Mark 5 backcountry carbon.
Yeah.
We had a time period where we were back ordered on barrels and things, but we're getting pretty fairly caught up now. So we should, in most calibers, be good on that one as well.
All except for 338 RPM.
Yeah.
That'd be the only one that would be delayed.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right. You got
this is hard to answer. You probably don't want to answer it specifically.
Live on the spot.
But
okay,
how many rifles to date have been sold by Weatherby?
Oh God.
Have you ever like tried to add that up?
No.
That's
I mean, it'd be in the millions.
Yeah. Yeah, it would.
Over 80 years.
Yeah.
So there was about 5 years ago, I think I did that, and I don't recall. But did it say rifles or did it say firearms?
It says rifles.
Okay.
Isn't the question, but
okay. Yeah. I don't have that answer, so I can't.
I know you
wouldn't,
but I actually hadn't thought. I have wondered that before, but our system, our ERP only goes back so far, and there's like pre-computer era that I don't even.
I've often thought about it in regards to customer service because we take calls every day for products that are like older than me, and so it's we service older products, and so we stand behind our products, which is one of the cool things about being an old company is that we get to see a lot of cool things come in. It's hard at times. So I'm like, man, you're a fresh startup. You don't have to take that 50-year-old product question, but we have a lot of products out there for a lot of years, and we stand behind them. So
that kind of made my brain turn a little bit. I didn't think of that like that many, but then it's like
it's a lot.
Like that attention to detail though, because everyone is just a little bit different. Even if you get a hand paint, even on the carbon stuff, that's a hand painted stock. It's a little bit different. Wood grain, like all the things.
If you took that a step further, how many Weatherby employees have touched Weatherby products in the last 79 point something years? It's a lot.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's another caliber question or cartridge question. What is your preferred cartridge for antelope and why? I'm looking to hunt antelope in Wyoming in the next couple of years and wondering which cartridge I should choose. Bonus question, rifle and why? I currently have 308 Vanguard, but looking to add to the collection.
Awesome. Excited you have a 308 Vanguard. It's cool. One round I think that's fun on antelope, and one of our rounds that just kind of gets overlooked is the 240 Weatherby. You can get in some super fast loads, some fast moving bullet, and I have seen a lot of antelope fall over dead against the 240 Weatherby. So that's fun. Traditionally, the 257 Weatherby is an excellent choice as well. I think 240 gets overlooked. So, if you're looking for your first Weatherby cartridge, 257 is more popular, more classic, my grandpa's favorite, all those things. But 240 is a great choice. When choosing an antelope rifle, depending on how you're hunting, a lot of antelope hunting, unlike some other species out west, a lot of it's truck or side-by-side or four-wheeler hunting. Weight of the firearm is not as important. And in Wyoming, typically you do have a lot of wind while hunting antelope. So a little more medium to heavier rifle, unless you're doing some weird kind of super backcountry antelope hunt or whatever. But for the most part, depending on your price point, I think a Mark 5 Apex and a 240 Weatherby would be a sweet choice.
That was in my head right there, because we took that one, or JD took that one, the Kodiak, and that was just a sweet setup. I was like envious that I didn't shoot blacktail with that. So
it's a cool, it's got the heavier kind of two-tone flutes. Other than our Cerakote department hates it because it's a whole lot of work to get the flutes looking that nice, but it's a fun gun. So I that's what I would do. I think it'd be fun. A Mark 5 240.
I like that a lot. And if you're an AccuMark lover, if you love your AccuMark and you're looking at a cartridge, that Apex is kind of a great blend of kind of that AccuMark and backcountry, kind of like old school and new school. Yeah, I like that heavy barrel too. It just they shoot lights out.
Yeah. So it's a little different. Not everybody gets one of those. So that guy'll have one now. Yeah. Right.
Oh yeah.
Luke, you got any livers?
Yeah, this one it might be easier. What about a carbon barrel left hand and 3378 without being custom made? Isn't that offered in the line?
In what? So
that'd be a backcountry carbon, backcountry 2.0 carbon. Is it not in the main line? Maybe it's not. So, Randy, just call customer service and tell them that we talked about it, and we'll figure something out.
We don't know, Randy, for sure. I'm trying to think of what would be an obstacle in that. So, is it listed there, Tyler?
It wasn't listed on just the carbon.
I know we had talked about it, so maybe that's
probably through Custom Shop.
Yeah.
Give it a try, Randy. Give it a try.
Wait for
Yeah, that's the first lefty question. We weeded through about 70 of them, though, right? That's for sure.
He says thank you. You
bet, Randy.
Yeah. What's your thoughts on 6.5 RPM on elk?
It's a good question. I know a lot of people have had a lot of success with 6.5 RPM on elk. I'll tell a story. I've actually never personally shot an elk with a 6.5 RPM. I've shot one of the 6.5 300, which at a certain distance is, depending on where you're at, would be very similar. But I know a guy last year, and he takes wounded vets hunting. He had a Mark V backcountry in 6.5 RPM. And I believe it was 8 or 10 animals, mostly all elk. There were a couple mule deer, but over 6 elk that all died in one shot with a 6.5 RPM. Average range was about, I believe, was like close to 400, 350 to 400, and had, which elk don't always die. Now, these were wounded veterans that probably had been trained.
Probably pretty good shots.
Probably pretty good shots. Yeah. But I have known a lot of people, I think bullet placement and bullet choice is really important. But there's a lot of people out there. I mean, there's people that are hunting elk with 6.5 Creedmoor. The 6.5 RPM is going to extend your range in order to do that. So
whenever I hear that question, I always say, like, you have to have a conversation with yourself too. What is your effective range? So understanding minimum, feet per second and foot-pounds of energy. And then what is your ability too? So there's always kind of that line of like, otherwise everything works, right?
And it's debatable, but I mean, that 1,800 to 2,000 feet per second, maybe 12 to 1,300 foot-pounds of energy. If you look at some ballistic charts, arguably, and depending on the projectile, that's where you want to be with your minimums on those things on your charts.
Yeah. Ooh, here's another cartridge question. I love these ones. Okay. I'm considering purchasing a 6.5 300 and have been looking at the Backcountry 2.0 TI Carbon and the new model 307 Alpine CT. What would I get from the Backcountry by spending an additional $1,650, and that I would not get from the 307 Alpine CT? In what scenarios would one perform better? And is there a reason I would want the 6.5 RPM over a 6.5 300, other than it would be a lighter rifle? So there's a lot to unpack there.
There's a lot in there.
The guy knows his stuff, though. It's pretty good.
He does.
Knows his models and done his research. Good questions. The Alpine CT is definitely going to be one of the best values out there in a carbon fiber stock, carbon fiber barrel rifle, for sure. I believe that is the only one. 6.5 300 is the only one we're doing in a 26-inch barrel in the Alpine CT. So if you really want to be able to push something out there far, 6.5 300 and 26-inch barrel in a 6.5 is going to be your best choice in the world for in the 6.5 realm. 6.5 RPM is going to be a 22-inch in the Alpine CT. Model 307 is going to be 24-inch in the backcountry. So, some different barrel length things there, depending if you're going to be using a suppressor and how important velocity is to you. Between those models, obviously the Backcountry TI Carbon, it's got a TI receiver. It's going to be significantly lighter. And then the Mark V is just a much more, it's a much more expensive action to make, and it's a more expensive action to buy. It's classic. It's got the different bolt throw, all those different things. So it really depends on how important that Mark V is. And so if you haven't tried both, it'd be good to maybe even go in a dealer and kind of pick them up, operate the safety, all those different things. They're gonna kind of feel a little bit different between the two. In that particular model, the stocks are different too. Or in the Backcountry Carbon, it's the Peak 44 Blacktooth. It's a 20-ounce stock, a little shorter forend. It's going to be more compact and smaller. So maybe for scabbards, or if you want lighter weight, that's going to be better. The Alpine CT features the Peak 44 Bastion 24-ounce stock, a little bit heavier, maybe sometimes a little bit more shooter friendly, a little bit more, robust or just, stable of a platform. So they're both going to feel a little bit different. But yeah, really what you're getting in that upgrade is you're getting the titanium, which is a heck of a lot more expensive just from the raw material and the machine time. And then you're going to get kind of that craftsmanship and time that goes into a Mark V build. So you are going to get those, those upward things. So it really comes down to how important that Mark V action is to you at the end of the day.
Yeah. And the 54-degree bolt throw.
Mm-hmm.
I know I see guys running that bolt, and like once you're a Mark V guy, feels like that just feels good. It feels natural once you get that
right
throw down. So,
yeah.
Cool. All right. What is your most memorable experience at work and also in hunting?
At work was probably our grand opening here in Wyoming, June 13th of 2019. 5 years ago. Over 5,000 people showed up. We kind of had a big celebration, gave a lot of tours, had this big kind of giant party that night. It was just a real kind of, it was a real memorable day, kind of an emotional day for me, thinking of just a huge pivot point. And we had our new team here, the folks that have moved with us. We honored Dean Rumbaugh that day, who'd been with us for 57 years, had a video for him, just a lot of nostalgic things, future, past, kind of everything really wrapped up in one. So I would say June 13, 2019 was one of the highlights of a work day. Call it work, but hunting, they're all memorable. I think it's often not what I hunt, but who I hunt with that makes it memorable, right? Which I think a lot of people could identify with. And so hunting with my kids, both my kids, when they shot their first deer, that was really exciting. That was super fun. I think, when we did move here to Wyoming, Brenda and I's first hunt, we went for elk and mule deer just in the backcountry as residents. And that was a very memorable hunt. There's a film on that. Actually, that was done kind of along with our move. So they tend to be kind of those, a couple hunts of my dad and just, those, it tends to be that. Now there's some epic hunts. Like my first sheep hunt I did in 2015 in the Northwest Territories, was just first time I'd been that far north. And it was just so memorable kind of being in those places. So, those are a few things, Tyler.
Yeah, those are good.
Yeah.
What stuck to me is similar experiences it's who you hunt with. So I get the question, what do you like to hunt the most? A lot of times I like to hunt the way the people I'm hunting with hunt, just to experience that culture. And a couple of hunts this year, I was Mississippi turkey hunting, not a huge crazy hunt, but it was just oh, that's a crazy cool culture to go check out. So
I know that question was for Adam, but I'm just going to insert myself a little bit. We've got a film coming out Sunday. That I was really lucky to go to Africa with you and Brenda, and that was more than just a hunt, and that was pretty cool. I'm really excited for that to drop, because it was half, maybe even more than half, but half mission trip, half hunt, and pretty awesome.
Awesome. It's coming out 5:00 Mountain Time, I think Sunday. It's called The Bush Provides. Luke actually came and filmed and edited it, and but it's a neat story. It's not just a hunt. There's more to it. So we'll leave it at that. Check it out.
Yeah. You got one?
There's a lot. It's hard to keep up with all of them, so we may not get to everybody's, but there's a couple of questions around just the RPM family.
Okay.
Just will there be more?
Okay.
Or I'll just summarize them into that.
Sure. The way we came about, we have the 6.5 RPM and the 338 RPM right now, and the way we came about that really was a little backwards. Might not even be good business, but we took the Mark V 6 lug action and realized it was one of our best kept secrets at the time, where we had this slender action. Everybody has a short and a long. We had kind of a fat and a skinny. And so I said, man, if we could really make a cartridge built around this thing, it'd be awesome. And you really fully utilize that long skinny thing. So the RPM having the standard bolt face 473 diameter really, takes that with that rebated rim. It's able to fit in there. So we came out with the 6.5 just to kind of be a practical kind of all around thing at the beginning. And then as we came into the second, it was let's just go all the way to the top, not a ton of 335 pound, 338 Magnum, and one of my favorite answers, by the way, everybody says, how's the recoil on that? I go, I don't know. You can ask my daughter. She's 5'2", shot her bison with it, or maybe you should ask my wife. So we but that's been great. There's obviously a lot of other calibers. We get requests for the 25 in it, fairly often. A 7. The 7's pretty close ballistically to a 280 Ackley, frankly, and we fit that in there and load it. I've had some good luck with that. So we've kind of had some asks, all over with a lot of cartridge development out there right now. I'd say hang tight. Nothing at this time, but we'd love to get your feedback. We would love to know what you want for sure. So always development and always testing going on. Like I said, shot an elk with 7.378, and I never said that before. So you still can't believe I said that.
I'm still pretty shocked. Yeah, that's
you usually keep those things kind of tight-lipped. So
yeah, that one we'll see what happens.
Yeah, never know.
Never know.
Next one is not a question, but it's from Justin Downs. I've met him at a show a couple of times, and he's just a really, really good friend of Weatherby. So he wanted to say, I want to send an email of gratitude to you, Adam, and all of the team at Weatherby. I'm a huge fan, a loyal supporter. Keep up the amazing innovations. In the past, I've had a hard time considering a Vanguard. However, I'm fully behind the new 307 and all the innovations that come with it. I know that your grandfather would be extremely proud of you and that he would approve of all of you've done. I know some haters only want a Monte Carlo Woodstock, but this market is innovate or die, and I am thankful you choose to innovate.
Oh, thanks, Justin. Shout out to
Did
Justin.
you write that one?
I didn't write that one. No. I know Justin though. I swear. So
that's cool.
That is cool.
Yeah,
Thanks,
and I know we
Justin.
have a lot. It's neat. I saw, Jamie and Scott and Jonathan, a lot of you guys that always comment and just follow along our social channels. I know you're all going to be listening. It is cool to know that we have just a loyal following, just people that are people that'll jump in there and answer questions on our behalf and set people straight. It's cool to have those kind of super users out there. It's fun.
Yeah,
so obviously Justin's one of them.
I believe he's a proud owner of a 338, 378.
Huh.
So big caliber like that. So
go big or go home.
There's been a couple just questions or comments about what about 338, 378?
Really?
It's awesome. Yeah.
We call it Thor's hammer.
Yeah, we do. Seth, our product manager, it's like his favorite thing.
Yeah.
We put it, we don't offer it in a backcountry carbon, right?
No.
Never mind that.
Not
We had one maybe.
there's some that exist.
Shot 262 hammers through it. Thor's hammer.
Yeah.
But
no, the
great option would be the Mark V Apex. That'd be a good one.
The Mark V Apex and a 338, 378. Yeah. I mean, it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
And it's still relatively lightweight. So, I mean, you could definitely get a rifle under 10 pounds with that.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah. That's a good round.
We should have brought that up for the best antelope gun.
338, 378.
You'd touch like 3
250
generations
grams
of antelope.
Yeah.
All right. What are driving characteristics that you look for in producing the best hunting rifle possible?
Ooh, it's a big question. I mean, it's a blessing and a curse that really my grandpa set us up as a prestigious brand. And so the bar set high. I didn't come into a family brand that's a value brand, kind of a low end brand. And so the bar is set high. People's expectation of quality craftsmanship, fit and finish, accuracy, reliability, durability is exceptionally high with our product. And so I believe, know what our customers' expectations and demands are, and we do our best to meet those things. And so like even all our finish work, whether it be our bluing, our Cerakote, our stock finishing, our finishing departments, our bead blasting, and our high gloss polishing, people go, how do you get a Mark V Deluxe to look that much? It's like, it's somebody out there just hating their job all day long polishing is what it takes.
Right.
And we can't kick out a lot of Mark V Deluxes because it takes a long time to get the finish that shiny. And so it's the extra attention to details. Even in our chambering, it's taking and going, well, I can chamber a barrel. We know accuracy lives and dies by a chamber. And so our reamers, the way that we chamber, the speeds, everything is super important. So it's taking and going, here's a hunting rifle, but making it, what did they say? How they define it? A good one or what did they say?
Best hunting rifle possible.
It's taking all those things and saying, here's where it is, but let's go one notch above. And I think that's what my grandpa did in setting up the foundation of this company. And it's something we try to do. And I apologize if we've fallen short and you've got a product that doesn't meet that. But we try to do that where it's going that extra mile. Our carbon fiber stocks, I mean, I think they're second to none on the finish. And so we try to do that and go that extra mile. Sure, it's sometimes a little bit more pricey, but we've worked hard to establish the brand. And when I say we, I mean generations before us, and we have to keep that bar.
Yeah.
And I also think kind of part of that is also pushing to like what's next to like, you know, really considering innovation and things like that to produce something that's even better than what we have. We could just stay stagnant, but if you're not also pushing, you're not producing the best, right? So.
Yeah. If you're not dead, you're not done. Right. And I think that's what we do. And even, you know, we say produce the best honey rifle, it's like what we want too, like what we have, we're all users.
That's what I was about to talk about.
And
We've got so many active users, hunters, some long range, like, you know, PRS, NRL type guys that if we weren't at work, we'd probably still be talking about these same things, you know, trying to come out with what's the next cool thing. It's the things that we want to see. It's what, you know, that's where 6.5 RPM came from for you, Adam. It's like, I want a lighter gun. I want it lighter. And that's, yeah. So using it, it's not just a job.
Yeah, absolutely.
Pretty cool.
Luke, do you got
well, I mean, some of them are fun. Like this one is how about a 257 378? I mean, that would be fun. There's no doubt. I think we'd have problems making that work.
We probably would.
Yeah, it would be pretty awesome. Let's see. I'm just doing a quick scan. How about bringing 338 RPM to more models in the Mark V or 307? It says even the Vanguard, but I'll just kind of take that one too. But there's stay tuned. We will offer more models in the future.
Typically, when you launch a cartridge, you kind of go in and get us some viability in some different models. And, you know, we tend to offer a lot more cartridges per model than most of our competitors. It ends up for us as a company, a lot of SKUs, a lot of part numbers, and a lot of things for our dealers to buy. And so we kind of come in narrow, and then upon the success of it, we branch out. And so that's usually kind of what we do. And I think we'll follow suit with the 338 RPM in that as well.
This is kind of a customer service one. Is it possible to send my 307 Alpine MDT to get rebarreled with a BSF carbon barrel? Same caliber.
Yes. Actually, I saw that question ahead of time. So I went and asked Jacob, who heads up customer service, because I know it can be done, but it's different. Can it be done, and will we do it? And he said, yeah, we'll do it.
Yeah, we'll do it.
It's like, we'll do that. Yeah.
Yep. So absolutely. Call customer service.
All it takes is time and money.
That's right.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Yeah.
Here's a loaded question. Adam, what is your favorite caliber? Let's go.
Caliber? Cartridge.
It says caliber, but cartridge.
Yeah. Anything that says WBY-MAG on the head stamp. You know, I don't, it's funny, you know, well, you know, your grandpa's is 257, what's yours? And I don't, I go through phases. You know, when we came out 6.5 300, I was just on a tear, and that was super fun. But I mean, the 3378, I've been on the 240, a little bit of everything, right? The RPMs. And this is the good thing about living in the United States of America. You can have more than one gun.
You can.
And so that's the good thing. I cheat because we have a factory of guns. And so I get to just choose what cartridge for that hunt just about every time. And I realize I'm spoiled in that. So I would just say I don't have a favorite, but it typically says WBY mag on the bottom.
I think Adam's favorite is the next one.
Ooh, yeah.
Because we usually have problems. The marketing team will have problems with, we have to sit on imagery that's just like, sometimes it's so good. And we're like, we really want to share this. Yeah. But Adam was hunting with like this gun that's not coming out for months or for whatever reason. So
the worst is when we go and get all this amazing imagery and all that, we end up not coming out with the gun for one reason or another.
Too.
Yeah, I'm guilty of that. But I love using the new stuff because it's that true product testing, you know, is telling somebody today. Actually, I was doing a podcast this morning with somebody else, and that's what it was. But like when we went to New Zealand this year, we had 3 guns, and one of them, like, it came back. 2 of them, performed flawlessly, and one of them came back and had to go back to the drawing board with some things. And so that's part of it. So those iterations, it's fun.
This is a good question. It's like kind of philosophical. Can you expect lighter with more power, or have we met the physical limits?
Ooh.
We talked a little bit about that today
In one of our meetings.
Mm-hmm.
No, we did. It's true. Yeah, I mean, there comes a point. I mean, we're less scared of recoil here at Weatherby than most folks. We're predominantly hunting, so it's, we're willing to kind of take one on the shoulder to be able to have performance in the field and those different things. So we're probably more skewed. It just doesn't bother us as much. I think there is that point. I don't know if we've reached it.
There's the law of diminishing returns, right?
Uh-huh.
I mean, archery, for years, it was like the 350 feet per second. And you like inch ever faster, like, 360 is, and which percentage wise is not insignificant, but it's not a massive jump either. And, we can probably get a little faster if we did something, but
Little lighter.
From a case capacity, like we're starting to hit physical limits on just the case.
Sure.
So it's probably more likely to go lighter than it would be to go faster, unless there's some kind of crazy development with powder or something else.
Right.
And still be safe,
case materials.
Because we're going to have safe products, but
Yes.
there's got to be some major innovation there before we get substantially faster.
Sure.
Without
Absolutely.
just getting bigger, which is not lighter.
Right.
So,
yeah.
What you got, Tyler?
I think I'm getting down to the end.
We're coming up to the hour mark.
I was gonna say there was that one. There's that one question where it's kind of similar to your favorite cartridge, but if you had one setup, and this would be rifle, caliber, scope, to do it all, like what would be your quick little dirty setup? Again, that kind of,
and you could only have one.
only have one.
Say it one more time. I was reading some comments.
One rifle setup.
One rifle
with,
setup from rifle cartridge, rifle setup, and then your scope. So like then you're going to do everything from whitetail hunt in the Midwest to sheep hunt.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard for me to move away from the 300 Weatherby mag for the best all around. It's just too hard for me to move. If I was doomed to only have one, it'd be a 300 Weatherby mag. Lately I've been using 195 hammers, which has been fun, but you can get them in some lighter stuff too. So a whole lot of different, different setups there with load. I'd probably, for a model, gosh, it's so hard, but, like that backcountry TI carbon, it's in that picture. Absolutely love that because you get a lot of performance, out of that package. Heck, it'd be fun in that Alpine CT as well. It's 2 inches shorter and a 24-inch barrel, which is kind of fun as well. I'd probably, I'd use a lot of different scope brands, but I'd probably, for a value and quality and weight and everything, I'd go with the Leupold VX5 or 6 and probably a 15 to 18 max 44 objective. I don't know how detailed we're getting here, but
That's a great
somewhere in there,
answer.
Yeah.
So yeah.
What are you doing, Tyler?
Yeah.
Ooh, man, I thought this was Adam's thing.
I just thought it'd be fun to turn it around.
What about you, Luke? I didn't know if you had one.
I do know.
Okay.
So I'd go kind of the balance of a lightweight rifle, but still some performance. So I'd probably go high country because I like the Bastion stock.
Ooh.
I probably would stick with 300 Weatherby because 195 hammers. There's just like no beating that.
True.
It's just so hard.
Yeah.
And then I'd run a suppressor. So, and then my scope would be the Leupold Mark V. The 3 points,
the smaller,
3.7 to 18. That one is
scope.
by far my favorite scope.
It's a good scope.
It is a great scope.
Yeah. So,
Luke?
I'm going to be, the cartridge I 100% agree with. It's hard.
it's just-
I mean, it's hard. It's hard
I wanted to
to
go with
not.
something cute, like 280 accurately because it fits in this. I just can't do it. It's got to be a Weatherby.
No, if you have one to do it
Yes.
all, I think it's 300 Weatherby. I've been really lucky. I shot a zebra with it, a moose,
Yeah.
white tail, like all kinds of stuff, right? The model, I think, would probably be the Alpine MDT Carbon.
Ooh, folding
So
stock.
I really like the folding stock.
Yeah.
And I really like the 307 action because I was part of it.
Yeah.
So it's special to
Partial
me.
to
And 24-inch barrel
cool.
on that one.
Yeah. Yeah. Cause I'm going to run a
Cool.
suppressor too. I love the Mark V. So I'd be like neck and neck on a Leupold Mark V or a Night Force NX8 4-32. I really like the 4-32.
That's cool.
So,
Okay.
but yeah, can't go wrong with either of those.
We wrap up here with a couple. We're trying to keep it to an hour, or what are we doing? We going all night? What do you guys think?
Yeah, we're going to start
I
to
already
land.
ate Brenda barbecued for
land the plane.
The night shift crew. She just barbecued some mule deer and elk down there. So while you guys were setting up the podcast, I went and had some mule deer and elk steaks with the night crew.
Thanks.
So yeah, no problem, guys. Corn on the cob. Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, I think my list is pretty
How's everybody out there in the live world, Luke? We wrapping up?
Yeah, I'm just scanning. Here, this is probably a good one to end on, right?
Okay.
Here. What process are you most proud of bringing in house since moving to Wyoming?
Huh. Ooh, I don't want to single out all the other ones. Anybody that was involved in it or anything. We have, just so people don't know and they haven't taken a tour here, since moving to Wyoming, it's bringing things in house that we maybe couldn't afford to do in California or just didn't make practical sense out there. We've been able to bring in. So our ammo loading department has really exploded, and that's been real proud of that. The whole machining and barrels, carbon fiber stocks. It's all been golly to say one over the other. And it's a little maybe tricky how to answer it or whatever, but you know what I'm going with.
It's hard.
But
what's your favorite kid?
Right. Exactly. It's neat. I think, when we work hard to do it, it's so cool to have those things done here, by our people. And so it's all the way from setting up the machines, the manufacturing engineers, the programming, cutting our own molds, our own tooling, our own work holdings, all those different things. It's so cool to see that process from the beginning to the end, and then see the quality improvements, the turnaround improvements, all the things that we try to do to provide a better product, to the customer in the long run. So, man, I probably don't have, I don't know, because it depends. Whatever was last, kind of like whatever's next. It's like, hey, whatever we just did and really crossed the finish line with, is seemingly there. But I mean, like even last year, we automated a lot of our Cerakote and got this cool robot and, a year or two ago. And it's so cool when you see it going, the consistency there. And so there's just, there's so many things I think that we're proud of as a team that we've been able to do here in Wyoming. And I hope that gets to you, the customer, that you can see, that quality and consistency. I think, you get people out there and they wonder, okay, Weatherby moved to Wyoming and, they're cranking out a lot more product and a lot more new products, and what's that quality going to be? And, we care about every product that comes out this door, and the amount of touch points. When we give a tour, it's one of the biggest feedbacks we get, which we're not open for public tours. So we don't give tours, but let's say somebody got a tour.
Let's just say hypothetically,
is they just say, man, the amount of touch points on every firearm before it comes out of here, like how many hands. And when you're looking at the stock department and paint and Cerakote, and, you're looking at all the different machining and assembly, all the way down to shipping. I mean, there are dozens and dozens and dozens of hands that's on every one of those products that goes out the door. And I think that's maybe, if you're to say what's the coolest part, is not one individual process, but the way that it takes a whole team to come together to build a rifle. And it's hard and it's challenging, but it's so rewarding when that thing goes in a box, boop, heads down to shipping and goes out the door, that the amount of effort, even it could be 2 years ago, it was in product development, and then it gets to that box. It's that process from the idea to that box at the very end. I think that's such a cool process.
for sure.
With being vertically integrated like that, it's just independence and freedom. You're not as reliant on a supplier or something, and that helps spark new ideas.
And we still have to have a lot of great suppliers, whether that be for finished goods or for a lot of them for parts and, all sorts of different things. We use a lot of U.S. machine shops. We don't do everything, here. We do a lot of things here now, and some products we make through all the way, but a lot of them we have to rely on a lot of great partners too. So that's key, really key. And a lot of them have been around for decades, and that's what's neat too. Got to have those partners. So.
Yeah. There's been a lot of questions online, a lot of specific, like, all right, what about this cartridge or that cartridge?
Yeah.
We're not done. Let's just leave it there. I think.
Should we do this again sometime?
Yeah, I think so. I think there's been really great
we'll see the feedback.
comments.
We got any haters? There's got to be online haters.
I haven't really seen a negative. There's been like some like pointed questions.
No, DJ, no haters? No, where are you haters at?
Yeah.
Good. Well, no, we appreciate it. And we thought this would be fun is, to just hear directly from our customers and try to engage with them. So, based on the feedback, sounds like we'll probably be doing it again sometime. It is episode 94, which is special. I'm the class of 94. I think that's kind of cool.
Oh, yeah, that is special.
Yeah. You guys are not graduating high school then?
No, not me.
No,
maybe
not quite yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
A little bit further.
That was
so
fun.
We didn't get to every question, but thank you for submitting them. We answered pretty much everything that we can answer and not give the farm away here. So we appreciate you guys joining us, and we'll catch you next time.
That's right.
Yep.
No, you hang up, Luke.
Luke, are we live still?
It's